Happiness. One word, 9 letters, countless meanings, endless possibilities. Happiness. Hard to understand, a task to find, a difficult state of mind to be in, fragile and easily breakable. Happiness is complicated. Or do we complicate happiness? Happiness has been preached about since childhood, and its importance and significance in our lives has been spoken about innumerable times. But still, we fail to carry it forward with us. And once we're exposed to a new set of emotions in our teenage years and adulthood, it becomes almost impossible to hold on to the thought of being happy, let alone happiness itself. Speaking of my own, as a kid, I was very outgoing, extremely talkative and unbearably loud. I was the only child for 7 years of my life, and those 7 years were more than enough to allow me to build a world of my own. I was that lonely kid who was so lost in her own world that she never had the time to pay attention to the world around her. Even though I was lonely, I was extremely happy. At school, I did have friends, but I never truly moved along with them. I just spent most of my time with myself, and that made me the happiest. So basically, as a kid, since I was my only best friend and company on most days, the only emotion that I was exposed to was nothing but happiness. I had never been bullied at school, never have I ever been ditched by a friend, and I was never caught up in any fight at school. Emotions like sadness and pain were far out of my reach because obviously those were things I would never throw at myself. When I look back at the kid I was 7 to 10 years ago and compare it with the person I've grown up to be, it leaves me with nothing but utter disbelief. Or rather, I start wondering where exactly I lost myself and what exactly happened in that gap that I completely transformed to a different person. And closely looking and deeply thinking about it, my belief in happiness was the point where I went wrong. Maybe that's where all of us go wrong. Maybe we do carry happiness with us as we grow up, but what we think happiness is may be the reason why it slips off our hands. We believe that happiness comes without turbulences. We believe that happiness should never be disturbed. And in case, if something unpleasant comes our way, we think we're not happy anymore. We believe that happiness is something that naturally comes to us, something that we're born with. We think of happiness as the human heart that pumps without us having to pump it. What I'm trying to say is, we think that to be a happy person, we wouldn't have to pour in our efforts. That thought is your biggest mistake. Now let this sink in. Happiness demands effort and time. Happiness comes with practice. It does not occur naturally. You need to compare happiness with a working individual and his or her work experience. The more the work experience, the better the job, and eventually the greater the wage. And how do you fetch those years of work experience? The answer is quite simple. You work for it. You spend your time practicing. Nothing in life occurs naturally. You need to work for it. Be it a job at a top-notch company or the state of being happy, if you need it, you have no other choice but to strive to get it. Now, there are times when we set our goals and fix our happiness in our goals, believing that when we achieve our goals, we will be the happiest. I wholeheartedly believe that this is the most inappropriate approach towards happiness. And I'm saying this out of experience. Because number one, chances of you reaching that goal exists, but at the same time, chances of you not reaching that goal exist as well, which pretty much puts your happiness at stake. And number two, if you happen to reach your goal, the happiness will definitely find a way into your life, but it will not last for as long as you think it will. It will be a momentary spark or a flame that will be put out with time. And within days of accomplishing your goals, you'll be in a hunt for happiness again. Just know that you need goals to be happy, but your happiness does not need goals. You can still be a person who is happy without having to dart towards a goal, because happiness is all around you. I repeat, happiness is all around you. You just need to look around and pay attention. Attention and focus. These are the tools and the keys to happiness. Pay attention to the world around you and look around with full focus. And trust me that even in your darkest days, you will find something that will illuminate the rooms of your heart. Happiness lies all around you, but it comes from within you. The happiness that comes from within you will be the guide that will guide you on the path you're walking on, helping you to find a reason to be happy. The happiness that comes from within you will be the light that illuminates the path ahead of you. The happiness that comes from within you is the fire that burns the candle, which later on illuminates the room for you to find reasons to be happy about. The happiness that comes from within you is the drop of ink in a bucket of water that goes on to changing the color of the water with time. What I'm trying to say is, the happiness that comes from within you is the start point to great things in life. Ultimately, happiness is a mindset. This saying is the ultimate truth to a happy life. How happy you'll be depends on how your mind functions. Again, this requires efforts to train your mind to think positively. But in the end, this will benefit no one but you. You will have to force your mind into thinking that today I will be happy. Fiercely believe in that very thought, and trust me, nothing would limit you from being a happy person. And even if something does, you'll find other reasons to be happy about. But if you're going to wake up to go with the flow, nothing will ever make you happy. Nothing at all. The key to your happiness is in your hand, and so is the choice to be happy. You're just a choice away from being happy, just one thought away from being happy. So here I go again. Is happiness complicated? Or do we complicate happiness? Happiness. One word, 9 letters.